split screen. So
or even online split screen, yeah.
Is there some future where you allow developers just to launch on the Series X versus S? Because there's the parity clause right now, and I'm curious, will that ever be loosened up a bit?
I want to decouple these issues a little bit.
Yeah.
The decision to do split screen or not is a creative decision, a dev decision. So if we think about like Forza, it has nothing to do with any kind of hardware thing on S and X, just where they wanted to focus their time. We obviously see the data in terms of how many people play local co-op for games. I love local co-op. Shout out to Vampire Survivors that just launched it, fantastic. But there's also just let's go where the play is in terms of where we're going to focus our dev resources. In terms of the two platforms, I want games to launch on both platforms. There are feature differences between the platforms. We have an ability to kind of handle that and how it works. Where teams are going to choose to focus their time and their effort is up to them. We're here to support them and what they want to go do. We want to make sure that games, when they're launching on competitive platforms, are also launching on Xbox. So we're going to learn from this experience as well, because we don't love that. But I don't think it's something that's like a fatal flaw in the system. It's partners prioritizing their time, us listening and being a good partner to them. And you see some amazing games doing great work across S and X. Diablo looks great, Starfield looks great, Forza looks great across both. And you know, we think, I want to make sure console gaming is accessible to more people, and we think the price point of the console is a pretty important part of that.
Yeah, I love the Series S, but there's been that conversation going around, so I wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fair question. I will say that I think some of the discussion in the community has maybe not come from us or the devs. It's been more the community building, well, this happened, and then that happened, and then so it must be about this. And I think we can do more to add clarity to actually where we are, and I look forward to doing that.
So you threw like 300 devs out to Larian to help them get Baldur's Gate on Xbox?
It wasn't 300, but absolutely.
400, wow.
No, it's a great game. They're an important partner. I'm meeting with them here at Gamescom. Like it's a game I want to see on the platform, and we have resources that helped in terms of making sure it's going to sit. I think they've said it's going to ship by the end of the year. I think that's their words.
Yeah.
In terms of what they've said. But like we should together come up with clarity to set some expectations for Xbox fans, and I look forward to doing that.
Okay, I just really like that game, so I'm hoping I can play it on my console soon.
I do too, yeah. Hopefully with cross save, so I can play my PC and my Xbox version back and forth.
Yeah, got it. So what else do we have? Game Pass does seem to be a bit of a tough sell for a lot of executives, I guess you call them. Kotick was one of those people that testified to it being a tough sell for him to bring Call of Duty to Game Pass. After closing, how are you going to breach that sort of ideological difference between you both?
Well, there's a different person making the decisions. That's one thing. On Game Pass, it's not necessarily true that every game looks at Game Pass and says that's the opportunity for me. Like if you're a massively successful AAA franchise that has double-digit million marketing budget to go drive awareness and discovery of your game day one, and that's part of your model, I totally understand why you wouldn't window your game day one into a subscription. I got no issue with that. Like we do it as a first party for this because we're trying to grow the subscription and we're looking at the overall health of the subscription as an outcome. We love that. We see it grow on console, more growth on PC definitely now, which has been awesome, especially sitting here in Germany. We think about all the PC players here. But so I just got out actually of a roundtable with a bunch of indie develop leads, studio heads, and the subscription helps them. It helps them in terms of dev funding, certainty in what they can go build. Every game that's in Game Pass is available for sale, so we're not trying to turn the world into a subscription-only world, I promise. That's not our plan. And we think it's a great model for certain teams, and for other teams that decide it's not the right model for them ever or right now, that's also totally cool as well.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm being told we're out of time.
Uh-oh.
I have a lot more great questions for you, but they'll have to wait. Thank you, Phil Spencer from Xbox, so much for joining us. We got to go. Coming up next, more video game news right here at Gamescom with IGN. Bye, everybody.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Do you have fun? Fear of missing Gamescom? Relax. Gamescom is everywhere you want. Gamescom now. Register now.
Tune into IGN1 on your smart TVs for the latest news on your favorite releases, gameplay exclusives, and all the entertainment you can handle.
Cinefix on IGN1, your friendly Friday night home for film fanaticism.
You're watching The Weekly Fix, ready to fill you in on anything you may have missed in the world of gaming and entertainment.
Welcome to Should I Play This? This is what to watch here on IGN1.
Find it all in one place for free on IGN1.
They turned into a network. Who knew?
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies,
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. That was good. I liked it.
talk about why it belongs, and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on the Cinefix Top 100, Mondays, starting July 3rd.
Why so serious?
Gamescom. I am Seth Macy with IGN. I am joined by Matt Perslow.
Hello.
We are here to talk about where wins meet. Matt, what is where wins meet? And that's a hard sentence to say, by the way.
It is what seems like giant Chinese mythology-based kind of open world RPG. I guess the easiest way is it's got a little bit of that Ghost of Tsushima about it.
Ooh.
But
I'm listening.
it is massive.
Yeah.
And so we only got about half an hour to play it, maybe 40 minutes. And I don't even know where to begin with this game. There is so much.
You gotta begin somewhere. We only have so much time.
So there's pretty good combat. What I will say, like that's what we saw. There's it starts on a horse. We were on a horse firing arrows, leaping off the side of the horse, doing QTEs to bat people off the side. Very, very cool. Into a boss fight. Not very Soulsy, I will say. It's got, you're gonna have to parry, you're gonna have to block.
So it's action, or it's not turn-based, it's action
No,
RPG.
yeah, it's action RPG. You've got like the stamina and you've got the health bar and you've got kind of a lot of like the parry and riposte system. I wouldn't say it was anywhere near as difficult as the Souls, so I think if you're worried about that, I wouldn't worry about it. Much closer to the sort of combat that you had in Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
A lot of that kind of like steel on steel kind of effect, which is good. But then after that boss fight, we got thrown into an open world and it was pretty much do what you want. So I'm wondering if there's a little bit of kind of the Zelda about it. I wonder if it's sort of like free form, go and do what you want. What I did there was not what I was expecting. I thought this would be a fairly full-on kind of combat game. I was finding weird statues that had riddles on them, and I was turning statues around to get prizes.
Nice.
I was going into villages and dealing with pickpockets and chasing a goose around a village.
Realistic goose chasing.
Yeah. I was, there's flights in this game apparently, all sorts of very wushu style, like jumping around. I went into a village full of statues and we're throwing little rocks at them and turning them back into humans. It's wild. There's a very, very vast kind of like power system that you, I guess, assign to a lot of the face buttons. I had very little time to work out how it all works. What I can tell you is that one of the abilities is summoning in a goat to have the goat charge through and hit things.
Yes!
It is, like, I was assuming it was going to be quite serious, but it's not. It is full on like those kind of like wushu films with all of the leaping around, like cutting arrows in half. It's got a lot of that vibe going on.
Wow, it sounds like you're describing like 8 different game.
Yeah, it really felt very over. I'm slightly worried it might be a bit overscoped, that there might be a bit
really?
too much. But I'll hold judgment on that until we've actually got the final thing, which does feel that it's probably going to be quite far away. I don't think it's coming out anytime soon.
All right, cool. Did you have like a pre-rolled character? Are you able to make your own character?
So,
how does that work?
So after the tutorial, it kind of put you into a part where you were playing like the uncle of this little boy, or well, androgynous sort of character, which then it turns out that's who you are.
Okay.
And you then get to choose whether they're male or female. It then goes into one of the most in-depth character creators I've ever seen in my life.
How so? Like, what makes it so crazy?
To the point where you can change the depth and size of the bit that goes in between your nostrils.
The filtus.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what it's really called.
But so much, like many different hairstyles, but also you could change each individual cheekbone, forehead, the way that the eyebrows are kind of tilted, literally everything. I think if you remember like the Black Desert Online character creator, which kind of went viral a few years ago, it was almost felt like that times 2.
So you could just make whoever you want, basically.
Pretty much,
game.
yeah.
Oh, wow, that is.
It was very wild. So yeah, kind of much more of a RPG than I thought, because then you go into the stats section. And I assumed that if there were going to be stats in this would be rolled a bit like the Dark Souls, kind of like strength, dexterity,
like,
endurance.
Yeah, basic RPG sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, like charisma and
gotta have charisma.
and sight. So I get the impression there's a lot more of the kind of like the traditional more D&D side of a thing where we're going to be chatting with characters. There's going to be the importance of how you interact with characters as well as interact with your swords.
Right, okay, cool.
So yeah, I sort of went in assuming that it was one thing and came out. I sort of don't have a clue what it actually is. There's so much of it.
So you have more questions after playing it.
Yeah.
How long did you get to play?
For about half an hour to 40 minutes. And
you did all of those things?
And there were bosses to fight. There were kind of like little encampments where there was obviously loads of enemies to scrap with. I really don't know where the game starts and ends at this point. Like, I wish that it was a more curated demo rather than a Gamescom throw you in. But what I can say is there's a lot here, and it'll be really interesting over the next, whether it's months or even years before this game comes out. It'll be interesting to see how all of that develops.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. You got me hyped on it. You can summon goats and chase gooses. I mean, why not? But we are at Gamescom. It is crazy. We're seeing all sorts of games. Make sure to keep it right here at IGN for the best of Gamescom.
Marvel Snap is one of the most hopelessly addictive things you can legally keep in your pocket, and somehow keeps getting better and better. Here to tell me all about what could possibly be coming next to Marvel Snap is Chief Development Officer Ben Brody. Welcome.
What up?
Hey.
Hello.
Everything's up. You got some big news. You just launched finally onto Steam.
That's right. Yeah, just like a couple days ago.
Yeah. So tell us about that. What was that? I know you wanted. It was important to you to get it on Steam in widescreen mode.
Yes. So the game launched late last year,
right,
on mobile, and it's been incredible so far. We won Mobile Game of the Year at the Video Game Awards, a bunch of awards, and it's just, you never know when you're working on a game like how it's going to go. And have it come out and have people be really excited about it is really phenomenal. But a lot of my heritage is on PC, and the studio, I mean, we love PC. It's just like where we all came from, and so now to like finally get it back on PC, it looks so good widescreen, and it's just so much fun to make the full circle.
Are there any extra flourishes in the PC version?
I mean, we just like rebuilt the whole thing from the ground up to take advantage of the widescreen display. The collection manager has a whole new UI. It feels fantastic, and yeah, you could see now. It's like somebody widened the frame, and you could see all of the art you couldn't see before. So you see so much more of the board. It's beautiful. It looks fantastic.
You mentioned you launched last year, coming up on a year now. How do you reflect on how everything's gone with Marvel Snap so far?
It's been really fun to work on this game. It's not every game that we make in the games industry is so much fun, But when you work on a game that is so much fun, on a live service game, you get to play the game at night just because you love playing the game, and then you get to come to work in the morning and make it better, and it's like this unbelievably satisfying loop of playing the game, finding something, you're like, oh, I can make that better, and then going back to work the next day and just making it better than hearing from players just how much better the game is as we've gone through it. So, over the last bunch of months, we've been experimenting, we've been trying new things, we've been launching new features and new cards and learning, and we're just getting better and better as a team, and we keep making the game better.
So you regularly play Marvel Snap?
Of course.
I mean, I don't think every developer plays their own game, do they? After it's out? I don't know.
I mean, come on, it's so good.
It is so good. I agree. I play every day. So do you get ideas while you play the game? Like think,
yeah,
this would be fun to add.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, a lot of the time I'm just like zoning out and having a good time. But every once in a while, I mean, a lot of it comes from frustration. I'm like, this card is BS. Like, we got to do something
we gotta
about
nerf this one.
Yeah. But also like, certain things that I'm like, I really would like to trying to make this deck happen. It's not really coming together. We could make another card to like really make this deck sing, and then we kind of think about it. Yeah.
So you've got the mobile and the PC version now.
Yeah.
Will both of the are they on the same track? Will they be getting updates and support at the same time?
Oh yeah. It's the same. It's the same game. You can play. It's cross-play. It's just all. You just get to choose how you want to experience Marvel Snap.
Interesting. So now that you have the widescreen version, could we perhaps see Marvel Snap arrive to other platforms, maybe console at some point in the future?
I mean, maybe. I don't. It's. We're excited about bringing Marvel Snap where people want to play it. So. It's something we could certainly consider. It was an enormous amount of work rebuilding this thing to work great on PC. So I'm gonna sit and bask in that for a little bit.
Take some time off. Any new modes that you're working on behind the scenes? I know you don't need to like reveal them right now, but like, are there actively?
Certainly, yeah. I mean, okay. We have a lot of stuff we're working on, actually, and we post our development roadmap just for everyone to come look at and, roast us about or give us feedback about it, maybe is what I would say.
Constructive criticism.
Yes, certainly. Yeah. It's actually really valuable for us, right? It's, once you ship a game, you're not the developers really anymore. It's a collaboration between the people working on the game every day for their job and the community who's playing it and has like really important feedback on how we can continue to make the game better. So we post our roadmaps, and we've been like churning through a bunch of our promised features and quality of life upgrades and stuff, and we just posted a bunch of other stuff on there. So if you're curious about what's coming soon to Marvel Snap, that's like a whole list you can just go look at online.
Got it. Do you have a favorite deck at the moment?
Yes. Well, we just nerfed one of my favorite decks, so I'm in mourning a little bit. But the new deck I'm playing right now is a Silver Surfer deck. Silver Surfer gives all of your 3-cost cards a big bonus, so I'm playing like a lot of 3-cost cards. Brood is a 3-cost card that summons more copies of itself. Right. It's like an alien brood, and so it gets a lot of extra bonus for comboing with Silver Surfer. It's so fun.
Is the plan to, is it going to focus on supporting Marvel Snap for the future, or are there other games that you have in the pipeline?
Right now we're like full speed ahead on Marvel Snap. We're like at the beginning of the Marvel Snap journey right now. These kinds of games, they last for like decades, or maybe longer. I don't know. There's so much fun for such a long time that, supporting it is both like an incredible joy and passion for us, but also, it's just we're gonna go for a really long time. There are so many Marvel characters.
I know.
There's like 8,000 Marvel. And then keep adding more because it's the living thing. And so we're gonna.
I mean, that must be nice to make a game that someone else is just creating content for you.
Yeah, they're just hey, we made this like enormously amazing movie that everybody loves, and we're like, taking notes like, we're gonna add that. It's really fun.
Awesome. Well, congrats on all the success. I play Marvel Snap every day. So. Love the game.
Thanks. Me too.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Marvel Snap is available right now. You have no excuse not to jump in and start playing immediately. We've got tons more ahead here on Gamescom Studios, so don't go anywhere.
Be there. Be strong. Be fierce. Be better. Be different. Be winning. Be epic. Be you at Gamescom 23. Come and be everything at Gamescom 2023.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. That was good. I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained? entertain!
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on the Cinefix Top 100, Mondays, starting July 3rd.
Why so serious?
6 years ago, while talking about Sonic on Game Scoop, Brian, you had this to say.
Real point where we need to admit that this was never really a great franchise.
Nope. Wow. It was never really a good franchise, huh, Brian? Well, I'm sorry. We're well over, believe it or not, 100 Sonic games, 2 movies, a long-running comic book series, and 6 shows. When you besmirch Sonic, you besmirch everyone associated with Sonic, okay, Brian? Brian, I want to present you with this.
I will hold that L. I was wrong. I have since come around on that character. I have watched the movies with my kid and enjoyed them immensely. Sonic Frontiers is fun. I liked Sonic Colors. I liked Sonic Generations. I liked Sonic Mania. Something we can all agree on is that Sonic has been good. It's Crash Bandicoot that's never been good.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
If you enjoyed that, check out full episodes of Beyond, IGN's PlayStation show, as we talk, argue, and goof on everything PlayStation. New episodes drop every Tuesday on IGN.com and IGN Games on YouTube.
Wayfinder hit early access last week, and due to overwhelming demand, it had a bit of a rough launch, but something tells me it'll find its way. I hope you liked what I did there.
That was good.
Here to tell us about what's in the works, please welcome AJ and...
You gotta try it. Come on, you have to try it. It's
really?
Gamescom. Do it.
Okay.
It's phonetic.
La Saracena?
There you go.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. It's phonetic.
Yes.
People get so scared about it, but it's just...
I'm so glad. Okay, yes. First name down. All right. And you are from Airship Syndicate. Welcome.
Yeah,
welcome.
well, thank you very much. We wanted to have more members of the team here, but unfortunately, as you mentioned, we weren't able to do that. So, we launched last week. Things kind of blew up, and we're in the process of solving it. So, people have been telling us the entire time here, it's like, oh, it's a good thing, but it's really not, obviously. Like, we want people in the game. We want them to play, but the demand has been incredible. The community has been incredible, and we're really, really excited to bring the game out into early access and then just build it from there.
Yeah, so I had a question about that, because people, once you get into the game, they seem to love the art style and everything. And you've had this incredible way of being able to communicate with the community, which I have felt that developers have been kind of missing for a while now. So do you have another update on the sort of server situation? I did see your tweet from about 4 days ago.
Yeah, so we've actually been posting almost hourly on our Discord, which actually has... Our Discord went from 25,000 people to 80,000 in 48 hours, which was just like, again, like, we are super humbled by the support and the people that are coming in there. But yeah, about every half hour to an hour, we've been trying to give software updates and server updates. We've been working behind the scenes nonstop since the game launched. Last night, we put out a really big update, letting people know that not only did we increase capacity, the queue times are down, disconnects are down. We're not done by any means. Like, everyone needs to be in, but roughly right now, our queue time is about 20 minutes, down from where it was like a couple hours. Again, was not what we wanted, not what we could plan for, unfortunately, but we're in a really great spot right now. So yeah, we really believe in the game, and it's great to see that the community also believes in the game.
Yeah.
And it's just, as I mentioned in the letter that I actually wrote at 3 o'clock in the morning, that the early access is just a conversation with players. And so just by being transparent with them and where we were and how we did wrong, all we can do is show them by our action and what we're going to do to make it better. But like you mentioned, once people are in the game, they love it. It's just, we got to get more people in.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought up that point about the letter that you wrote. I didn't realize it was at 3 a.m.
Yes, it was at 3 a.m.
Yeah, but you did mention that in that statement that early access is not a crutch, and that it's actually a conversation between the studio and the community. Yep. So how has it been talking to the community? Like, how's the feedback been? How has that conversation been? Because obviously conversation is a two-way street, right?
Yeah, totally. And so we've run a couple different beta tests for the game, and in those betas we've had tons of great feedback about people wanting to see things like air dash, character balance changes, parries for weapons that didn't have them before. And so we utilize a website called Feature Upvote, which people can submit their ideas and thoughts. Other people upvote or downvote them, and then after every beta we assessed where we were. So it's been amazing to see the game grow since we started that, and I think it might take a little bit of time for new people that come into the game to understand that's kind of how we're approaching early access, but we've said all along that we could launch the game with 1,000 zones and 25 different wayfinders and 95 weapons, but if the game is not fun, if it's not rewarding, if the loops aren't there, there's no point. So we really want to focus on building the foundation for Wayfinder now in early access with the community, telling us what they want, what we're doing right, what we're not doing right, and then we can go larger once the game is eventually free to play in 2024.
Ooh, 2024. Okay.
Early 2024, yeah.
Amazing.
That's our
okay.
current timeline.
Yeah, so can you give me a little bit more on what exactly the gameplay loop is like? You did mention that you wanted that loop to be there, and obviously you're taking feedback. So what is the current gameplay loop like?
Yeah, so at the very start, Wayfinder is a character-based online action role-playing game. It's pretty much our love letter to MMOs. I mean, we grew up playing games like WoW and EverQuest and Final Fantasy, Destiny, Monster Hunter. So there's a lot of different DNA in this game, but at its heart, it's about social. So playing with friends, you have a house that you can decorate. There's large social spaces. Going on awesome adventures with friends, dungeon diving in randomized dungeons to collect components to craft more wayfinders, craft more weapons, and then large open world areas that you can meet new friends, you can do large scale events, kill world bosses and do quests. So it really is our love letter to MMOs, and one day we hope it to grow into that even big MMO, but it's the game that we've wanted to make for a long time and really plays to the strengths of Airship Syndicate with the beautiful art and the characters that people love, and we're really, really excited about the future.
Yeah, so speaking of this being free to play, you mentioned in the statement you did say that the pricing in the store was getting adjusted and everything as well. So I think the items in the store were reduced to 1,000 silver.
Yes, you did your homework. I like that. It's awesome.
Thank
yeah,
you.
so something slipped through the cracks completely, and we owned it. Essentially, one of the currency packs was like 50 cents off, essentially, from buying a weapon, and it doesn't feel good as a player to see that, right? Like, we're players ourselves. We immediately owned it. We immediately said we're correcting it. We're retroactively giving people that bought that the difference, and then we're changing those packs going forward. And so in our game, you can craft weapons inside the game, or you can purchase a weapon once. You still need to level it up. No advantage from buying it, but if you wanted to have a shortcut, you can do that. But again, people told us right off the bat that didn't feel great, and we totally agreed. So yes, we are changing that.
That's amazing. Again, this is something that I feel like a lot of devs, especially people who want to try to do a live service game, you have to be able to adjust, right? Because it is a live service game. So what does the free-to-play model look like for Wayfinder going forward once you do fully release?
Yeah, so if you were to buy into the game right now, it's $20 for early access, and that comes with the base game as well as our reward tower, which is our version of a battle pass that never expires, and it comes with the character. So we don't make you choose between, hey, do I buy the new battle pass that has content, or do I buy the new character? You get them both. So back to your question, when we do launch, none of that is changing. We will have a reward zone tower, a reward tower that you can pick from, as well as some characters, cosmetics that you can purchase to the cash shop or earn in game. So essentially what you see right now in early access will be what we have in free to play. We're fully embracing the free and fair that Warframe set up 10 years ago, because Digital Extremes is our partner, and we're really diving into that. So all content, all new quests, all new bosses, all new zones, none of that is behind a paywall. All that will be coming free to players.
Yeah, actually, so you mentioned your publisher. So what has it been like working with the team that created Warframe? And, obviously Warframe was something that also did have a bit of a rough launch as well, but then they learned because it's, live service. So how has it been like being able to collaborate with them?
It's been great. I mean, a lot of people, when we talk to press upstairs, and they're like, oh, did you change a lot of this game so it made sense for Warframe? We're like, no. Like, we made the game that we wanted to make, and there was a lot of DNA that was shared with Warframe. So it was really a great match once we sat down in a room and they said, hey, we want to publish this game.
Yeah.
But we are constantly in communication with them, both from a technical side as well as like monetization side, to give us advice, gameplay. They've done it for 10 years, like I mentioned, so they definitely are the masters of it. It's new for us. We're used to putting out a game like Ruined King or Darksiders or Battle Chasers and then being done with it, or like, all right, on to the next thing. But this is the start. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and they've been really great to help us put that in perspective and be like, no, we'll buckle down, we'll solve what we have to solve now, and we'll move forward and make something awesome.
Yeah, I think that you're definitely on the right path, because not a lot of companies decide to do cross progression, cross play, and cross saves specifically.
Yes.
It's a lot hard to do. It's really hard to do all of those, and most of the times you see games doing one of those. So what was the decision process behind making it all three?
So back to, like I said, the pillars of the game really are to us, an MMO is social. It's always persistent and changing, even though when you log offline, your friends are still there, world events are still going on, and then it's always updating, right? Yeah. So that very first one, being social, is like your friends play everywhere. So not everybody is on PlayStation, not everybody is on PC. So from the start, the inception of this game was really to, I mean, games nowadays are about that conversation. You don't just go on to play, you go on to talk to family members or friends that are across the country, and you happen to be playing at the same time. So it was really important to us that out the gate, cross-play and cross-save was the #1 priority for us, and we are happy that we have it right now.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for speaking to me about all this.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, answering all of our burning questions.
Yeah, we're here, and like I said, we've been transparent with the community. We're not going anywhere. We're super excited about the game. The feedback has been awesome from people that once they get into play. So we're happy to bring the game out into free-to-play in 2024.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see it. Thank you so much. Well, Wayfinder is out now on early access for PS5 and PC. We've got tons more Gamescom Studio coming up, so don't go anywhere.
Lies of P is the upcoming Souls-like third-person action game, and I cannot wait to find out more about it. Luckily, I get to do just that right now. Here to tell me all about Lies of P is the game's director, Ji-won Choi, and translator, Ji-yoon Shin. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. So we had you on the show last year at Gamescom. You won a bunch of awards, but you brought some new stuff to Gamescom this year. Tell me what Lies of P at Gamescom 2023 is all about.
작년에도 게임을 가지고 나오셨는데 그때랑 또 다른 게 뭐가 있는지 또 어떤지 한번 짧게 설명해 주시면 될 것 같아요.
네, 이번에 준비한 피해 거짓은 저희가 거의 최종판입니다. 파이널 버전을 즐기실 수가 있고, 하지만 저희가 이제 모든 분께서 즐기실 수 있기보다는 저희가 일부 이제 매체분들에게만 이제 저희가 플레이를 해보실 수 있다는 점을 좀 말씀드리고 싶습니다.
Yeah, this year we brought some new version, which is final version, but unfortunately it's only open for press that you can experience in Gamescom 2023.
All right. Are there some new enemies in this build? Now this is like the final build of the game, right?
지금 가져온 버전이 파이널인데 저번에 봤던 거랑 다르게 또 새로운 적들이 있는지.
네. 이번에 준비한 거는 모든 게 다 새로운 버전이기 때문에 깜짝 놀라실 수도 있습니다. 이거 피해 거짓 맞아? 완전 다른데? 이렇게 경험하실 수 있을 거예요.
So we brought so many new contents in this, so you will see completely different enemies, completely different situations here in this version.
Tell me about one of your personal favorite enemies that we're seeing in the Gamescom 2023 version, and what kind of...
2013년 버전에서 볼 수 있는 새로운 적들 중에 제일 좋아하는 적이 뭐가 있는지.
정말 매력적인 보스가 등장을 해요. 그래서 정확한 이름을 언급하기는 좀 어렵지만은 이번에 플레이해 보시면 정말 매력적인 보스가 등장한 것을 알게 되실 겁니다.
You will get to see a very attractive enemy, which is a very strong one, and we cannot really mention his name, but you will see soon.
Well, this giant robot clown we're looking at right now, it seems like he puts up a good fight. Tell me a little bit about designing these enemies so that the encounters are challenging and difficult, because I know that's something that is important to the philosophy of this game.
지금 이거 보고 있는 이 이거에 대해서 말해야 되는 것만은 아니긴 한데, 그러니까 적들을 이제 디자인할 때 어떤 걸 제일 보시면서 넣었는지, 그리고 어떤 게임 스타일을 기대할 수 있는지.
네. 그러니까 저희가 새로운 신선한 어떤 경험을 드리기 위해서 많이 노력을 했어요. 그래서 탑 게임에서 경험하지 못했던 몬스터들이 등장하도록 저희들이 노력을 했고 그 어느 때보다 또 몬스터를 가지고 있는 이야기와 서사에 대해서 많이 집중을 했습니다.
So yeah, we wanted to give the players new experience with new enemies that you haven't seen in other games, and we wanted to give each stories to the enemies, not just the boring normal enemies that you will see everywhere. Yeah.
Awesome. I really like this big sword. Tell me about the big sword. It looks great.
보이는 이 큰 칼에 대해서 좀 더 설명해 줄 수 있냐고. 되게 좋은데.
이 무기는 사실 칠지도라고 해서 한국 고유 전통의 무기를 저희들의 방식으로 개량한 무기입니다. 그래서 특수 스킬을 사용할 때 특히 칠지도로 해서 그 가지가 7가지로 뻗어나가는 연출을 확인하실 수가 있는데 그러한 부분들에서 저희들이 상당한 고심을 한 무기이기도 합니다.
So this sword right here is called 칠지도, which is traditional sword in Korea.
Yeah.
And when you use it with a special skill, you can see 7 different branches will reach out from the sword.
Awesome. The grindstone system is something that you've implemented in this game. What's sort of like your advice to players who want to maximize it and get the most out of it?
게임을 할 때 초보자들한테 이 싸움 장면에서 좀 이제 조언을 해주고 싶은 게 있다면 뭐가 있을까요?
네. 일단 무작정 덤벼들지 않았으면 좋겠어요. 그래서 보통 액션 게임이라고 하면 호쾌하고 빠른 진행을 생각하실 수가 있는데 솔로라이크 게임은 정보가 경험이 되게 중요해요. 그래서 무턱대고 덤비기보다는 충분히 사전 지식과 내가 어떻게 할 것인지 전략을 구상하면서 전투를 하면 크게 도움이 될 것입니다.
So he want to say don't jump in right into the enemy. So he want to say you need enough information and experiences and good plan and strategy to fight against these enemies.
Now, you know, this is obviously infused with a lot of horror, but most horror games look very dark and shadowy and bleak, desaturated. You're playing with a lot of color and lighting in this game. Tell me about that design decision.
그러니까 게임 디자인할 때 상당히 되게 다크한 모습 많이 볼 수 있는데 이걸 디자인할 때 어떤 이제 과정이 있었는지 또 어떻게 디자인을 한 건지.
네, 일단 피노키오의 모험 원작 이야기를 말씀드려야 될 것 같은데 대개 피노키오의 모험이라고 하면 밝고 명랑한 어떤 동화를 떠올리시게 될 거예요. 근데 사실 원작을 읽어보게 되면은 생각보다 무겁고 또 좀 어른들만이 이해할 수 있는 그런 주제도 많이 담겨 있거든요. 그래서 이러한 원작의 느낌들을 저희들이 잘 전달하기 위해서 더욱더 의도적으로 다크하고 또 때로는 기괴하기도 한 그런 모습들을 담아내려고 노력을 했습니다.
Since everybody already know it's based on Pinocchio's story, which is fairy tale, but if you think of it, maybe there are some who can think it's boring or childish, but like you mentioned before, the original story is already dark enough, but we wanted to add more of color of our own story, so we gave more spices to it and twists to it. So that's how we came up with the dark story, dark mood of it. Yeah. 베리포크 얘기도.
I
love it.
One more. 그리고 저희 이제 피노키오의 모험이 사실 이탈리아 원작으로 한 소설이긴 해요. 하지만 저희들이 좀 더 많은 분들이 관심을 가져주기 위해서 잘 알려진 것을 전혀 다른 방식으로 표현을 했거든요. 그중 하나가 베르포크 시대입니다. 피노키오는 피해 거짓은 베르포크 시대를 표현을 하고 있는데 흔히들 베르포크 시대라고 하면은 낭만적이고 아름다운 그런 분위기를 떠올릴 수가 있을 건데 저희들은 이것 또한 완전 반대인 방향으로 어둡고 기괴한 방식으로 또 표현을 하기도 했습니다.
So Pinocchio is originally Italian fairy tale, but we used the original story, which is familiar to everybody. But like we said, we wanted to add our own color, so we adapted a Belle Epoque era of France. So if you think of Belle Epoque era, it is a romantic era of France, but we also twisted that in our way, so we gave more dark and grotesque mood to it.
So now is this the King of Puppets boss fight?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about this encounter, because like I love everything I'm looking at here.
이게 인형의 왕인지 그리고 그게 맞다면 자기가 이 캐릭터에 대한 모든 게 너무 좋은데 좀 더 설명을 해줄 수 있을지.
네, 보시다시피 인형의 왕입니다. 인형의 왕이고 저희들이 정말 많은 노력을 들여서 제작한 보스예요. 그리고 이 피해 거짓에서 전개되는 이야기의 또 핵심을 가진 그런 몬스터라기보다 캐릭터라고 말씀드리고 싶어요. 그래서 정말 중요한 이야기를 다루고 있는 그러한 캐릭터라고 좀 말씀드릴 수가 있습니다.
So yes, this is the King of Puppet, and we want to call him character, not a monster, because he will be the center of the story. So if you play more and discover more about him, you'll find out more what he is and who he is.
A thing that I really, really love about this game is how quickly the character moves, how agile they are. that's, you know, kind of in stark contrast to a lot of the kind of clunkier Souls-likes out there. How important was that, making sure that the character was fast and energetic?
게임을 보면 보통 되게 빠르고 빨리 전개가 되고 캐릭터도 되게 민첩하게 움직이는 걸 볼 수 있는데 다른 소울라이크 게임에서는 보통 이게 좀 둔감하게 움직이다던가 좀 무기감이 좀 큰 게 보이는데 그런 게 얼마나 중요하게 생각하고 개발을 했는지 민첩하고 빠른 게.
네. 일단 멋진 피노키오가 등장하는 게임이에요. 그래서 이런 멋진 부분을 강조하려면 좀 더 스타일리시한 전투 방식을 표현해야겠다고 생각이 들어서 좀 더 스피디한 전개를 말씀드렸고, 그리고 또 저희가 인형인 캐릭터인 피노키오이기 때문에 인형적인 이런 어떤 역동적인 부분을 좀 표현함으로 해서 인형인, 좀 더 어떤 사람이라기보다는 이게 좀 더 어떤 인간적인 부분보다 또 초월된 힘을 표현하고 싶어서 더욱더 좀 다이나믹한 전투 형태로 저희들이 고안하게 되었습니다.
So we have a Pinocchio, but which is cool and stylish. So we needed a like speedy and fast movement for it, and also we wanted to give active motion from puppet, which can differentiate it from human. That's how we came with all the motion and dynamic movement, which can show that it's over human.
Awesome. Last question. This is the final Gamescom version. This is the version of the game that will be in stores in a few weeks, right? And an Xbox. Can I keep it? Yeah, I was just wondering if I could keep the game.
그 9월에 곧 이제 발표가 되는데 자기가 게임을 이제 해볼 수 있냐고.
물론이죠. 네.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Well, for everybody else, Liza P is out on September 19th. There's a demo out for it right now. It's awesome. Thanks for watching, and stick around for more Gamescom Studio, powered by IGN.
Well, that just about wraps us up for Gamescom Studio Day 2. If you missed any of the dozens of new trailers, gameplay reveals, and interviews we've done here at Gamescom so far this week, what are you doing with your lives? But it's okay. No worries, because you can catch them all on IGN.com and IGN's YouTube channel.
And good news, there's big exciting stuff you didn't miss this week, and that's because it hasn't happened yet. Tomorrow we've got the annual Gamescom Awards Show, a massive celebration of the biggest games of the show, which gets pretty wild out there on the stage. A lot of jumping around. A giant robot might show up.
Oh my goodness. And on Saturday, we've got another day of Gamescom Studio featuring tons of games and deep dives with the people making them. And since that's not enough, on Sunday we've got the Gamescom cosplay contest powered by Mini, showcasing the most impressive costumes here at the show and awarding prizes to the best of the best.
But if you need something awesome to do right now, head to IGN.com/rewards, where you can win tons of awesome prizes like a limited edition Xbox from Porsche, a bunch of custom branded Steam Decks, and even a TMNT Mutant Mayhem pizza scented Xbox controller. It's an extremely rare, very strange smelling collectible for fans of pizza, turtles, and or odors. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling because I smelled it and I just brought back memories of just how awful it smells to me.
They sent me one, I gave it away. It was very, very, very smelly.
Yeah.
But IGN Rewards isn't the only place you can win stuff. Whether you're watching here or in person or watching from home, take part in Gamescom Epics, the text adventure game of the show. It's a ton of fun, and it's another chance to win cool prizes. Head to now.gamescom.global to find out more.
But for now, it's time to say goodbye for the day. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for the Gamescom Awards. From all of us here at Gamescom Studio, in front of and behind the camera, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. It was good. I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on the Cinefix Top 100, Mondays, starting July 3rd.
Why so serious?
Hey, you. Yes, you. Do you have FOMC? Fear of missing Gamescom? Relax. Gamescom is everywhere you want. Gamescom now. Register now.
Tune into IGN 1 on your smart TVs for the latest news on your favorite releases, gameplay exclusives, and all the entertainment you can handle.
Cinefix on IGN 1, your friendly Friday night home for film fanaticism.
You're watching The Weekly Fix, ready to fill you in on anything you may have missed in the world of gaming and entertainment.
Welcome to Should I Play This? This is what to watch here on IGN 1.
Find it all in one place for free on IGN One.
They turned into a network. Who knew?
Renove sua casa no Mercado Livre. Televisores com até 30% off. Compre no app.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Nick930, and today I want to share with you the complete history of Grand Theft Auto.